This is Wednesday, September the 29th, 1982, and I am going to go to Pawnee, Oklahoma today to interview Nora Pratt.
It was over with, so he left. It gets that way. You get to thinking about something else and what do you call it? You just forget.
Yeah, you're just like you could be doing what you're doing right there, and anybody asks you how you did it, why you wouldn't even remember because you're thinking about something else.
Yeah. That morning I got up. I come from the bedroom. Now I was all right. I got in there by that stool.
Yeah.
And I went and pulled that, they had their lid up, And I went and pulled that lid down.
Uh-huh.
And don't you know, I just looked like I just, now whether I whirled or not, I don't know, but it just seemed like I was whirling around.
Oh.
And I grabbed that basket, I thought, well, that'll balance me, I grabbed that and, I just went on over. I hit across the bathtub right here, I bumped my head on that other side of that.
My heavens, when was that?
That was, I don't know now. What
What do you remember about them when you were little? Do you remember who had bundles and anything about the names of them? Because the Skeeties had so many bundles.
Yeah, I know.
All kinds of bundles.
Well, each one, I'm going to put it this way. Each one had a name to their bundle. And I believe there was I really couldn't tell you all who had
Well,
I know names that had bundles, but
if you can name them, that will be useful.
There was a bunch of them around, and then some of them were stolen from them.
Really?
Back in the 20s, I believe. There was a guy here from some museum or somewhere, and he was getting them bundles, and several of them lost theirs through that. And they never did find where they went. And later on in years, they said some of them was in Chicago, believe it or not.
Well, now I don't know. Now this is what Garland remembered about Frank Murray. That Frank Murray, of course, was working for that museum in Chicago. Did you know that?
Who?
Frank Murray.
James Murray.
James.
That was the old man. That used to be. He was married to my aunt.
Yeah. And then he supposedly took some bundles up to Chicago, because I've seen those bundles. Garland and I went up there to see them. And there's about 14 bundles up there.
Really? They don't know the names of them?
I don't know. See, they went up there when Garland was a little boy, and so.
I mean, they don't have names on them at the museum?
No. Well, they may have in their records, but we didn't see the records. We just, they had them all out so Garland could see them. And he prayed over them, in Pawnee, because they were so far from their homes.
Yeah.
And they're up there in that coal museum, and so he really felt bad about it.
Yeah. Some of them were stolen from here. I don't think they.
Do you know any
they
who
just
stole them? I mean, you know who they were stolen from?
No, I don't remember who they were stolen from. There were so many of them, and then different ones, and some of them, Kenneth Greek, I think, and them's got the bundle out there that May had. I think now, I don't know for sure.
I didn't know about that one.
I think
May who?
May
Lockley?
May It used to belong to Kate, I believe, Kate Laughlin's family. Oh, there were several of them bundles, and they each one had a name. That's all. I'm afraid to tell anything about them, you know, and
Yeah.
in a way, you know.
Yes, I know that. I know how to feel because I.
But there was a bunch of them bundles, and that each one had names, and there were certain seasons for them to open them. See, and then some of them just the family would open them. Yeah. But that's about all I could say about them. This one we got, you know, the old lady used to kill a beef. They'd kill a beef and they'd put up a teepee. And they'd go in there and open them. I don't know what's in them. I never went. Women weren't allowed to go in them. And they wouldn't even let them come around there, you know.
No, that's right.
So we never did. I never did know what was in them. And they'd sing all night. All I know is they'd sing all night with this bundle, you know, and then the next day, well, then they'd cook dinner. They'd have dry meat. Dry meat and corn, bread. That's all they'd serve, coffee. That's all I know. I never did open this bundle. I never did see them, or you know, these other things when they got bundled. We weren't allowed to go in them rooms. You know, they kept them sacred.
Yes, well, they are sacred.
I mean, you know, in their home, see, we weren't, children wasn't allowed to go in there where they had them. And in the mud lodges, I guess they used to have them, you know, and
during the ceremonies, doctor dances.
no, I mean when they used to live in mud lodges.
Yes.
They'd have them hanging in there, you know, different groups, I guess, whatever. And one of them, they said used to have a skull on there, but I don't remember who had that.
Well, some people said that White Eagle's bundle. Now, do you know what happened to White Eagle's bundle?
Maybe that might have been one of those that was taken.
I don't know.
I know one of them used to have a skull that said I had a skull, and then one had they went way up in the mountains. There was in now it could have been along this way, you know, in Colorado or Montana, somewhere around in there. They said they were going around towards them hunting, on a hunting trip. This man, he looked way up in that, I guess a mountain or way up there. This thing would shine like a glass, you know. There were quite a ways, I guess. This thing kept attracting him, you know.
Yeah.
And finally they said that they kept going, and he told these other people, he said, I see something over there. He said, I just wonder what that is. He said, it's sure flashing, you know, I guess from the reflection of the sun. And I guess it was meant for him to go over there, see?
Yes.
And they said it was a horse. When he finally went up there,
It was a horse.
the shape of a horse in a rock. And that when he got it, well then I guess he prayed over it, you know, and talked to it. They said he used to have good luck, have horses, you know. I guess that was meant for him to,
see. Did he make a song about it?
Huh?
Did he have a song about that? Do you know?
No, I don't think.
Sometimes they have songs about
Yeah,
horses.
I know, but I don't think he had any. I don't know. I really don't know, but I don't know anything extra, you know, about them bundles out there.
Is that the bundle that had the, is that, this bundle, now which bundle was this that you're talking about?
I don't
The
know
one with
who
this-
had that bundle.
But the man had this, saw this rock shaped like a horse.
Uh-huh.
Was that rock supposed to be taken and put in the bundle, or?
No, it was on top.
It was up on top of the bundle?
When they put it on, when he had his bundles here, they put it on top of that. I guess it was
Was it
just,
skidoo? Was it a skidoo?
uh-huh. It is. There are several of them that had bundles, you know, that I heard, you know, and then some of them said, oh, they took so-and-so's bundle, you know. It's been so long, I can't remember names, you know, that.
Well, Nora,
Yeah.
some of those bundles were buried with the people, too.
Uh-huh, yeah, some of them. When they didn't have anybody else, you know, they just buried them with them.
What do you think bundles mean now to people who have them? What do you think, how do you feel about a bundle? Does it have the same meaning as it used to have, or?
Well, I think so. You know, myself, I think if you believe in what they told you about it, you know, that, see, this bundle, my grandma used to have it, that old Lady Washington. Lizzie Washington. That was her name, Lizzie. But they called my mother Lizzie. See, her name was Lucy.
Oh, your mother was Lucy, and her mother was Lucy.
Her aunt, her mother passed away when she was a young girl, see, and her aunt raised her. And so she had this bundle, I guess, that was in her family. That's all I could say. That's as far as I know, you know. And then after she passed away, well, her son got it. See, she had two daughters, and that Barkley White.
Yes.
And she had Gertie's. No, not Gertie. Katie, Eleanor, and them's mother's mother. That would be their grandma.
Yes.
That would be Eleanor and them's grandma, Lucy Pratt.
Oh.
Lucy Pratt come from Barkley White, see,
Okay.
and Katie Tilden come from Maggie. Her name was Maggie. Washington, and then Josie, she's from the old lady. See, there were three of those,
Yeah, girl.
that old lady children. Well, Barkley White, he's got Gertie Clark, and he had Emmett White and James White. There were three of them. Well, when his wife died, he married Rebecca, and then he had Lucy and all them, you know, from her. And then this Maggie, she had Katie. That was my father's first wife. She had Katie. Well, she passed away a little after that, see.
Yes.
And the old lady raised, Lizzie Washington raised Katie, see. And then Josie, she was the old lady's daughter, and she had just one boy, Vernon, and a girl.
Oh.
But she passed away when she was little, you know. She was a blue baby.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where this bundle come from, see. Well, when the old lady passed away, these two ladies had passed away, see.
Yes.
The sisters of this Barkley.
Yes, right.
So then Barkley passed away,
Yeah.
and he told my mother to have the bundle. See, that's still in this family, see.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
So this is Grandma Washington's family, see. My grandmother, let's see, yeah, my grandmother would have been, let's see, my mother's mother would have been her sister, the old lady's sister. See?
That's a long time ago.
Well, then when my mother was real bad, Gertie and Eleanor come out. She said they wanted to sell that bundle. So I told my mother, I said, I didn't like that, you know.
No.
I said, you're leaving yet. We went in a bedroom. I told Adam, you come go with me. I want you to witness this. I said, so I said, I told her she was sitting on a bed. I said, Mama, I said, in India, I said, do you want to sell this bundle? I said, this secret bundle? And she looked at me and she said, no. She said, no. In Indian, you know.
Cocky.
I said, well, I said, Gertie and Eleanor said they could get 5,000 for that bundle. I said, they want to sell it. I said, I'd rather, if you want them to sell it, say it now. I said, and I'll let them take it. I said, she sat there. She said, no. She said, I don't want it sold. She said, that's not to be sold. She said, you keep it and you take care of it. When you get tired, you know, like, you know, just pray to it.
Yes.
Pray to it and pray to God. Said, with that, that's all. She said, take good care of it, dust it every now and then, keep it clean. She said, you don't have to do nothing with it. She said, don't let them have it. So I was telling my kids, I said, if I should pass away, I said, this bundle would go to Nora Pratt. She's the next oldest one. See?
Yes.
I said, so that's where that would go, see? It wouldn't go to Eleanor or these others, see? So that's the way this is, I'm referring to this bundle here, our family bundle. But as far as knowing what they done or what they said in there, I imagine they prayed, you know, with them, whatever they done inside of that teepee, you know, that's all I could say about that. And I really don't remember who all had bundles. It's been so long ago, you know, I never.
You know where the bundles are now? Oh, before you answer that, Rosanna told me that Skeety Jake, you remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Skeety Jake had a bundle. Did you ever see it?
I never. Maybe I saw it, but you know, I was.
Well, who was Skeety Jake? I didn't know him.
No, he died long time ago. He was an old man, and
Where did he live?
let's see, wait now. Well, them days they used to live in a village over here, you know. Up here where that drive-in down below there, they used to all live down in there. I really don't know who his folks were, you know, real close, you know, that.
Does he have anybody living yet today? No descendants.
A lot of them is gone that had, you know, things like that. Maybe the whole family was gone.
With our bundle at the house, I have, Garland used to when it thundered.
That's from John Box?
No, this was from Effie Blaine.
Effie Blaine.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what happened to John Box's bundle either.
I don't think he had any.
His brother, I guess that just White Eagle had it for the family. He's the oldest brother.
Yeah. Of course, John Box was married to Grandma Washington.
Which one? Lizzie?
Lizzie, the old lady.
Well, that must be then
And
how, where we were
they
living.
they used to live right over there where that, when you come down from that drive-in, you know, when you come down and you cross that little bridge,
Yeah,
when you come around that little bend like
Yeah.
that way and you go down, and
yeah.
there's a cellar there. That's where their house was at, Grandma Washington. She
Is
used to
that
own
right?
that place there,
Yeah.
160 acres there. That was all Indian land through here.
Oh, I know it.
Mhm.
And then they had to have an allotment, so everybody got,
Mhm.
so they got some more Indian land away from us.
Yeah, there was, that's where they live, and he married Grandma Washington. We used to call her Grandma Washington.
Was this,
John Box was,
okay, now Maggie Box was not, her mother was not,
uh-uh. Her mother is different.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it's just, so this would have been her stepmother.
Uh-huh. She died at the Indian school, I think, Garland's mother. Because I was going to school up there.
That was
And
sad
there
time.
was working, I believe, up there. And
She
they used
had
to
the-
live in that girls' building on that. That they had upstairs, you know, apartment. And we was in a dormitory there. The girls' dormitory. And they said that she was sick and all.
She apparently got an infection after she gave birth to
Jimmy.
Benny, Jimmy,
We used to call him Jimmy.
Ben Peters, and Jimmy, and she got fever. And
Yeah, I know she was sick up
Childbed
there, and they said she passed away. We all had to be in line, you know, when they brought her down.
It's sad.
Oh, it's bad.
I know. He was
And
an
Garland
orphan.
and Jimmy was little
Little
then.
orphan, yeah. Garland was less than 3. He was less than 3 years old.
Yeah. So that's about all I could tell you about the bundles. I really don't remember who really had them, but I know there was a bunch of them.
I heard this, maybe.
Albin's got one, I believe. Albin Leading Falk.
That's right.
And then Virgil Howell had one.
Now, these weren't the same bundle.
Nah, I don't think so.
Because you know, Alvin had so much bad luck there for a while. So many things were going wrong.
And Kate had it. See, Kate Eaglesheaf had that bundle, but they gave it to Alvin. See, and then Virgil, I think he got hold of that, took it.
I wonder if it's still up in Colorado.
I don't know who's got that.
I talked to Sam Osborne about bundles years ago, and Sam was telling me about some of these things that he knew, and about the bundles. And what seems to have happened is that I don't know whether I'm wrong about this, but a lot of people, some people think now that bundle can bring you bad luck, and it didn't used to be that way. That if did you ever hear that or feel that?
Well, you know, I'm gonna say it like this way: if a person believes in that, I believe it. You know, it would take care of them.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
If you
If you don't believe in it, and just treat it anyway, you know, that I think it could be that way.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, what if you don't live the way you're supposed to? Does the
Yeah,
bundle know this?
uh-huh.
The bundle
Yeah.
knows this,
Uh-huh.
and maybe you get sick and things happen to you.
Yeah, that's true
The
too. You
Garland
don't
said
take
that.
good care of it, in
Yeah.
other words, and just leave it like, you know. Well,
And
I
that's
don't.
why in the springtime.
And then too, this bundle that we got, my mother used to say, if somebody comes to borrow something, you say a certain word that they're gonna take this and borrow it. They're gonna borrow that. It'll be all right. He said. Now that's all she ever told me, and they take good care of it. That's all she ever said. I know.
Garland said you shouldn't, with his bundle, you shouldn't whistle in the house.
That's what they said about this one too.
And
And never use a knife in a
never
fire
use a
plot.
knife, right? That's what he said for me to do. And in the spring when it thunders, I always get the cedar and I smoke the bundle because I saw him do it so many times. So
Yeah.
I try to do it.
Yeah.
And when I go away, if I leave the house, I always go and tell the bundle where I'm going and ask the bundle to take care of the house. And
Take care of you.
And then I'll go in a good way and come back. And I go in and when I go home, I tell the bundle when I'm back. I try to do what Garland taught me to do with the bundle.
That's the correct way. Just like this one, you know. For a while I thought somebody would come and steal it, you know. That seemed like they was all wanting it to sell and this and that, you know, and I didn't approve of it. And I told my kids, I said, when I die, I said, you give it to Lisa Pratt if she's still living. If not, give it to Maud. I said, their brothers, they won't take care of anything.
No, you have to be. That's the problem. You've got to be sure the bundle goes to a good place.
So
And
that's all I, you know. All I know, you know. Just take good care of it and pray whenever you.
Yeah, I do. I do that. It's right in my bedroom where Garland put it. And in the spring, I've had to change the cover on it once. I did it when he was sick. He asked me to take care of it then because he didn't feel like he could. So to me, it's a very important thing.
Yeah, it is. That's the way I always feel, you know. And then if I got troubles, I'll go in there and I'll pray.
Yeah. Oh yes, me too. Oh
Pray
yes.
that everything will be all right. And if I'm gonna go cook somewhere, I'll go in there and I'll pray that everything will be all right with the food and stuff.
I know.
That God will take care of it, you know, while we're away. My mother used to do that.
Yes. Well, that's.
And then, you know, she was an Indian doctor too. My mother. And whenever she'd go to doctor, somebody come after her, you know, she'd say, all right, I'll go and I'm going to doctor them 4 days. If they get along all right, I'll continue until they get all well, you know. And if not, she said, within the 4 days, if they're not well, well then getting better, well then I'll let them go and you try another doctor. Yeah. See, them days they had a lot of doctors. But when she'd go in there and she'd pray, you know. Every morning she'd go in there and pray. Go to wherever she had to go to doctor, you know, like that. Or sometimes they'd bring them here, you know, and we'd keep them, you know, and everything, you know, is different than what it used to be them days, you know. And we always had company around here. No more.
Well, everybody depended on each other more then.
Yeah,
They knew what to do for one another.
Well, a lot of times too, you know, somebody will come and say, could you help us, you know, in some way, you know, if they're sick, or maybe we pray for them, you know, and just, but before I do, I'll go in there, you know, and offer my prayer, you know, pray prayed to that. And God and Jesus, that.
Well, it's a
And
very-
then, another thing, my dad went to Anadarko one time. Oh, that was way back there. And I guess this church, they was giving, I guess they was giving new furniture or redecorating or something, And this one man, he went and gave my dad a picture of Christ.
Mhm.
He gave it to my dad.
Mhm.
He said, I want you to have this. He said, well, my dad, he took care of it when he coming home, and brought it home. And Annie Kelly, she seen him give him that picture. She said, I want that picture, brother. She said, I want that picture.
Mhm.
All right, he said. Well, he said, I kind of hesitated to give it to her, but I thought, well, she wanted it. He went and told her, you take care of it. So they brought it home, I guess, and she took it to her house, see.
Yeah.
And that's when she was running around, see.
Oh.
And one night, my dad had a dream. And he seen this picture. This man was standing there. I guess it was Jesus. He said, I want you to come after me.
Oh.
He said, come after me. This lady ain't taking good care of me. He said, I want to be with you. He said, they gave me to you to take care of me, and I'll take care of you. He said, so my dad said, I didn't know what to do. Him and my mother talked it over, and they said, she said, well, if that's the way he wants it, go get it. So he went and seen her at some place, She wasn't at home when he went over there. So he seen her, and he told her, he said, he used to call her sister. He said, sister, I want that picture back. He said, I had a dream about it. He said, you're not taking care of it. You don't stay at home. This man told me. She said, well, that's true. She said, I'll bring it. So she brought that picture. She brought that picture back to him. We still got it. It's so old and brittle, but I just, got it in a frame. It's in a bedroom there. I keep it in there with that, But that's about, something like that,
That's
that's,
important to know those things.
Yeah.
To go do something when you had that
yeah.
meaning come to you in a dream.
Well, just like when they built this roundhouse, that was in 33 when they built it. 32, they started that. My dad told them to build it. And Linford wanted to build that. So my dad said, all right, we'll go over there. And you could, he picked out the place. He said, wherever you want to build it, right here or over here. He said, you build it. He said.
You picked out the place.
Uh-huh.
An old man always had to pick out the place.
Uh-huh. So then they had Uncle John, Frank Young Eagle, and Charlie Allen, and my dad. They all went over there and they smoked a pipe and talked. Each one prayed, for that building to be built there. And that's what.
That was the ceremony.
So this roundhouse here, Linford built that, had it built. So.
I'd like to walk over and look at it
So
sometime.
when in 33 we started having things there, see. After they finished it all up, we started having things there. And we was camp up there around Christmas. My Uncle John Moses, that was my father's brother.
You told me about that.
So he come over there to the tent. He said, Kirike, he used to call me Kirike. Come with me, he said, I want to.
That's something about your eyes, isn't it?
Uh-uh.
Kitty?
Uh-uh. It's a girl's name.
I know it is. It's a little girl. Excuse me.
And so he used to always call me that, Kitty, come on. He said, I want to talk to you. Linford said, go on. He said, he wanted to tell you something. We went in the roundhouse.
Mm-hmm.
We always go in this way. See? That's the way our people was taught us, go in this way.
The way the sun goes.
But now they was go this way, see? So we went this way, him and I. And he stood on this side and I stood on. He said, stand right here, I want to tell you some things, he said. And he said, now, he said, I want to tell you how to bless this food. He said, this food, he said, is something. He said, and this pipe is something. He said, and he went on telling me, different things about it. And he said, in case you're ever called upon, he said, to do this, he said, you'll know what to do, he said. And then he taught me, different things. And when he got through, I told him, Uncle, I said, why are you telling me? I'm a woman.
Yeah, I
said, I'm a woman. You got a whole bunch of boys. And he had 3 daughters. There's a bunch of boys you got. I said, why don't you tell them? He said, no. He said, he said, they don't take interest in nothing. He said, in our Indian ways. He said, you're the only one that I could see. Your brother, he's not, he was younger than me. He said, he don't seem to care about Indian things. He said.
And you were just a little girl.
He said, I want you to know this. He said, see,
well,
different things that he told me, while we was in that roundhouse, I just often thought, about him,
yes,
and that.
They saw something in you.
I thought, well, maybe he's right, and just like this name changing too, well, I got the authority to do that. Change name, give a person a name.
You have the authority to do that?
That's what he said. He said, but you can't do what they used to do a long time ago. Just pray. He said, that's modern way. He said, it's everything else is done down. He said, in case anybody should ever ask you. He said, I will give 3 or 4 names. So.
I guess I wasn't there when you did it.
Homecoming, I gave Ezra Field his father's name. And then Catherine asked me to give that Catherine, and it was the princess. I gave her grandmother's name.
The
Boton.
yes.
I gave her name, that girl. Her name, she said.
You have a lot of responsibility, don't you? That comes down from the old people. It makes you a special person.
I guess, I don't know. And then my dad, he told me different things too. And then my mother, she come from this Lone Chief family. That's part of our family.
Yes, that's an important family in the history
Lone
of the
Chief,
tribe.
that was my mother's uncle. That was her mother's brother.
Yeah.
And old lady Washington, that was her brother. And Emmett Pearson was their brother. We got a lot of relatives.
You got relatives every place. I think this is about, I'm going to stop this. Well, one of the things that Garland said was, he was talking about the Cheyenne arrows. And he was telling about the time when the Cheyennes came here and camped somewhere near where this bundle was.
Down at the roundhouse.
Yeah, and they tried to get the arrow back, or arrows. Was it 1 or was it more?
4 of them.
4 of them. And they didn't get them. But he said he didn't know what happened, whether you still had them whether they were buried or what happened.
So they in that bundle. See, one of our relatives captured them.
Yeah.
They captured them and they got them. But I never tell anybody where
No,
they're at.
Garland said not to tell anybody, but I just wanted you to know that I understood why this was
Yeah.
important.
And there's one man, he come here. He didn't come here, but he was in town. We went in that Graham's Cafe, and he was with Tom Morgan, I guess, the Cheyenne man, and he wanted to know where they were at. He wanted to know if we'd give him. He said, anything you want. He said, well, we'll try to get it for you. He said, I think that's why our people are so poor.
Yeah.
He said, they lost their good luck. I guess they were sacred to them, you know.
They were very sacred, just
So-
extremely sacred.
I told Tom Morgan, you tell that old man I buried them with my father. I said, I don't have them. I said, they told me not.
Yeah, to keep it quiet and secret and to take care of it.
So that's how come, you know, that I told that old man, and he just went, just like that loud in that cafe.
He cried.
So that was the end of that, see.
Well, they probably have new arrows now. I think they make new arrows,
Oh.
you know, after they realized, and so they dedicated new ones.
Well, that they was captured. This relative of ours.
Nebraska. What was his name?
I don't know.
Was it, oh, I know who that was.
I don't know who it was, but anyway, it was one of our relatives, and just like this Pahukatawa too, you know, we're connected with that.
Yeah.
So that's something, you know, that I don't know whether very many people knows about that or not, that we're connected with that too, you know.
Garland told me about him, how he came back, and he kept coming back.
He'd help our people
Yeah.
when the enemy was going to attack, see.
Yeah.
So that's about all that was done in that. And then, you remember one year that man come from, where was it, New York or California or somewhere, he was dressed like that. He said he was dressed like that Pahukatawa, but he wasn't.
I don't remember that. When was that? What year was that?
I don't know what year it was.
Long time ago?
It's been quite a few years.
More than 20 years ago? Because I've been here since 61.
61. Well, it was either around that or a little sooner. Anyway, it was during homecoming. He come down one year, and they brought him around. They said he wanted to be in a parade, you know, and they brought him in, and Babe Shonitone went over there to him, and he said, you know, you could get sued for acting like this. He said, that old lady still living, that come from that family. He said, you ain't got no business doing that. He said, they could sue you folks. And when he went back, well, they forgot about it, see. They never did mention it anymore, or he told them, he said, the old lady's still living, and he pointed my mother out to him. He said, they could sue you. He's got daughter.
That's right.
So after that, we never hear about it, you know.
That's good.
They was going to make a movie out of it or something. I said, besides, he wasn't a man when he come back.
No.
I said, he come as a wind like. I said, not in the way he is. I said, he's got it all wrong if he thinks he's going to imitate Pahukatawa. I said, that's not right. I said,
whenever I see a whirlwind on the highway, you know, I was driving out to Colony to go to the dance out there, and there was this whirlwind just all of a sudden. I said, it's Pahukatawa. And Garland always used to do that whenever he'd tell me that he was watching over us.
Yeah, that's what, you know, they used to say up there. And this one old man used to meet him. he'd tell this old man he wanted him to come to a certain knoll and fill his pipe. He said he wanted to smoke, but this old man would go up
Go out there.
you know, what is so he'd go take his pipe up there.
That's wonderful.
He said this one I guess he'd hear it, you know, and he'd
Yeah.
turn that pipe around. He said one puff, it'd be all gone. He said that's
Sometimes when the door blew open, Garland would say that. His uncle is here.
So that's all I know about them things.
You
You
know
know, I don't know any more than that. And it's what they tell us to do, keep them clean and take good care of it and pray whenever you go around it and all that. They'll take care of you.
That's true. I know that's true. I can feel it's true.
Yeah. I'd get up from the table and I'd get to the door. I'd think, well, oh, she's gone. And I'd come back and I'd sit down.
Yeah, that's hard.
Nobody would say anything, you know, that went on. We had to go do something in the and it stopped right here. And it turned around and went back into the bedroom. That was soon after my mother passed away, see. And these kids, they all got up. Who was that? They said, they went. I said, well, there ain't nobody in there. They said, you know, they're not thinking anything, you know. When we come back, they said, somebody was in here. I said, you know what? I said, that was Grandma. I said, why didn't you tell her, we're all right, Grandma, we're here.
Yeah.
We're not moving out. I said, I don't care what they say. I said, we're not moving out. I said, so they said, well, we didn't know what to say. They said, I guess it kind of got under their skin, you know, a little bit. But we got here, you know, and they told us about it, you know. And I said, well, that was Grandma. And then one day I was in here in a front room. I wouldn't go in the bedroom, you know. I just couldn't bring myself to do that, you know. Finally, one day I heard her. She used to like to tear little squares of paper, you know, and put it in her spit can, you know. She used to have a little blue spit can, and she'd put them newspapers in the bottom of that. And when we'd empty it, well, we'd just empty the paper and all, see. I heard that paper tearing in there, you know.
I know how that is because
So I got up, I went in there. It just stopped when I went in there, see.
yeah.
And I sat down on the foot of her bed, you know. I said, Mama, I said, if you're around in Indian, I was saying, I said, you said you was tired. I said, no, you're at rest. Go rest. I said, we're not going to move from here. We're here. I said, we took care of you. I said, I took care of you. I said, the best I knew how. I said, in Indian I was talking. I said, you will still get lonesome for your people. I said, your relatives. I said, now you're with them.
Yes.
I said, Jesus has called you home. I said, so just go and rest. I said, don't worry about us. We'll get along. I said, I'm going to live here. I said, I'm not going to move. I guess different ones thought I'd leave, you know. I said, no, I'm not going to move. I said, this has been our home. This was my father's place. So so we just, after that, well, I was all right. See, and I never did hear, we never did hear anything out, anything. Every once in a while, somebody will, way in the night, maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the morning or somewhere, somebody will say, Nora, Nora, just call me about 4 times. Oh, go on, I said, just go on and rest. I said, whoever you are. It happened several times like that, And I was telling one Indian doctor, I said, what does that mean? I said, and he said, well, he said, they was coming around. He said, they probably come to visit you or want to see you, he said. And they just call your name, he said. Some of your relatives maybe or your friends, he said. They just call your name. I said, it don't scare me.
No.
I said, don't scare me, but I always think about it. I wonder what that
Wonder who it
means.
is.
Wonder who it is,
Like it's my father. or my
Uh-huh.
mother.
No, it always be a
Somebody.
different voice, It don't be. Boy, when Catherine passed away, I couldn't get over it. She just, she used to come out here pretty near every other day.
And she
She'd
went
come out
down
and
so
eat
fast.
with us,
I know.
I'll come out to eat, Auntie. All right, well, come on in. Or she'd say, I brought a piece of hamburger or meat, She'd say, I brought that. If you're already cooking, well, just put it up, she'd say. Well, yeah, for a long time I couldn't get over it.
Oh, no.
It just really,
She was good to me.
she was good to everybody, I think.
She
Some
called
of
me
them didn't
Scourse.
like her, but
She called
Yeah.
me Scourse and she gave me shawls. and
she used to have funny ways at times, but
she was,
she
well,
was
at
good.
times she was.
It's natural.
She had, like all of us, she had her problems and things
Yeah.
that make us not always act the way we want to toward others.
Yeah. Well, how about eating a bite?
All right.
I've got meat cooking and I wasn't do all it's been so long because
I know. I just
You know.
wonder how many there are now here in the tribe. You have yours and I have mine and Ellen has one. And Ethel Ryman was telling me about her father had a bundle. Sam Wilson.
Yeah.
He was telling me about that the other day. And that Rosanna took her mother's bundle back
To
and California, and now her daughter has it, and it's in Colorado Springs.
Adlon?
No, Rosanna's daughter.
Oh, Rosanna's daughter.
Suzanne. So that looks good.
Yeah.
I figured there's about 7 or 8 still with us.
There's
But
a
maybe
few
more.
of them around yet. I don't know who all's got them, but I know Alvin and them, Virgil and them had it, had one in there. I don't know. There was a big mix-up,
You just wonder what's going to happen to all of them
Well,
eventually.
Yeah. I just figure if some folks are living around, Gerda, she passed away, she didn't get to, she was always doing something, she don't know Indian ways. It's like Mara too. I'm
Yeah.
surprised it's
Mara
been.
Epler?
Mara Epler. She never was around our people.
Garland used to say that those people that weren't around our people came back and tried to be more Indian than those who had stayed with the people.
That's why I always say I don't believe them. Just like Johnny Cake here, we say different ones talk to them, but I don't believe it. Because a lot of them would speak God.
Yeah.
But he was young, That's what I'm talking about. Annie, he never mentions Annie, raising him. He said Pearl and Frank raised him, but they didn't. Annie had him and sent him to Lone Jack School, Lone Chimney,
Mm-hmm.
To that school for a while.
Boy, that meat looks good.
Well, just get you a plate and help yourself. Wait, now I'll get you one right here. Just eat all you want. I've got rice on there too. You could get a spoon and get some.
Alright, this was
I'll
nice.
just put that. Here's a plate right here. When you seen this plate?
Oh, I got some.
Nah, there's knife and fork right here.
I better get myself a spoon.
There's a spoon over there. Here it is. There's a spoon right there for rice. Oh boy.
Doesn't that look good?
Huh?
That looks so good.
You want some soup?
Yeah. Ooh.
Sometimes I would just get lonesome in the morning, you know.
I do too, Nora. I get very lonesome down there.
Yeah.
I really do. I just have terrible time. It's really lonesome in that Garland.
I told Adam, I said, what do you mean? I said, let's go somewhere. He said, what's the matter? I said, oh, I don't know. I said, I just don't feel, you know, I'm funny. I don't know whether,
Here you go.
I don't know whether it's just a warning or something that, when something's gonna happen, I'll ignore it. I hear it.
Do you? Do you feel like that now?
No, not right now, but I mean, you know, when a death or something like that, or real sickness, you know, coming through my eyes.
Yeah.
For a while, I used to see a shadow,
Mm.
you know, that, you want coffee?
Yes.
That, I mean, I was just, you know.
What does an owl mean?
And then sometimes I was, in my dreams, I was.
Yeah, it's hard to be in that situation. What does an owl mean, Nora?
Well,
Is it good or bad, or sometimes good and sometimes bad?
they say that either he's bringing you bad news or he's warning you against death or.
Really?
He is.
Mhm.
And then sometimes it's sickness.
Oh.
So there's different ways of looking at that.
I just wondered, because I know sometimes the Otoes and the Iowas have that feeling about it, but it's a warning.
It's just some kind of a warning that they would tell us. I don't know.
Well, Garland, you know, before he was sick, the owl used to come out and sit in the tree at night. And Garland would say, oh, there's the friendly owl. He'd always use that word, friendly, and I think he might have been trying to, not, you know, didn't want
Not
me to
believe
worry,
it.
not worry.
Uh-huh.
And
Go
he used
ahead
to come,
now. Go
I'm
ahead
just
and help
waiting
yourself.
for you.
Here
You don't want me to wait for you?
No, go ahead and help yourself.
All right. That's good.
I didn't know what to fix.
Oh,
I ain't
we're
gonna
gonna
fix no salad for her.
Oh, that salad. Garland used to get, I told you how when he first got married, Levi'd come around and say, hey, you getting enough salad? I got afraid to even put any salad around for fear somebody'd say something. Every time I see a salad up here, I think, oh no, there we go again.
There we go with the salad.
Yeah.
Roberta, she's a great one to make salad.
Well, there's a lot of salads on the
I
table.
said, it's good. I said, but here lately my teeth is bad and I can't chew good, you know.
Oh.
Oh, you're supposed to eat it. I said, I'm gonna eat it.
Good, Nora.
I should have made fried bread. didn't I?
No, that would have been hard work for you.
You know, I always say, I'm not going to tell anything that I don't know.
That's what
You
Garland
know.
said.
because that would be saying, oh, I don't know. A lot of times, you know, I hear young say, oh, my old folks talk to me. You don't have no old folks.
Well, there are a lot of people that wish they did have old folks, and they wish they knew more. So they figure maybe if they say that, maybe somebody will, I don't know.
My grandfather died the year I was born on Mandrake.
Great chief.
Or the year after, 1910, I guess he might have passed away in 1910. Mandrake, that was my grandfather on my father's side. That was his father and Uncle John's father.
Ah, John Box?
No, Brady, John Moses.
John Moses. Well, see, I thought when you say John to me, I just thought I knew Box was related.
Well, we're related to everybody, but my mother used to say they had 6 uncles. 6 uncles and then 3 women. Mr. Washington and there was a Nora Minor and another one. My mother's mother. There were 3 of them. Women. That was that's how come we related to the Lonesome family and Pearson. Oh, I don't know who. Maybe Morgan. Maybe Morgan and them, their mother, they was related to
Did you ever, when you were little, did you ever see them when they were doing any of the bear and the buffalo dances? Garland said that sometimes they come over to the north roundhouse and sometimes they go to the south roundhouse and the Skeeties would come over and...
They used to have them out in the open in the summertime or fall. And pipe band.
No.
That's where I got my Indian name.
Did? Got your name then?
I think, you remember Hurricane? His grandmother gave me my Indian name. It used to belong to one of her daughters and she passed away.
And so she gave it to you.
And she didn't have any girls. See, Cecilia was the only one that they had in that family. And all the rest were boys. So she asked my dad, she said, can I name her? He said, I want to give her an Indian name. He said, go ahead and give it to her. He said, if you want her to have it, go ahead. So my name is Cisa Ukaro.
Cisa.
Ukaro. Are you the princess? That's
Oh,
what that means.
That's a beautiful name.
Lula Young, she wanted to change it. I wouldn't let her.
Sam's mother?
She said, you folks got names. My father was from down that way, some way from down south. He said, you got names. That's how come we got relatives down that way. So I told her, no, I don't believe I want to change it. I said, the old lady gave me this and I've had good luck with it. I said, I believe I just keep it. I said, I don't want to change it. She said, well, all right. She said, well, I never did change it.
So if somebody asked you if they could give you another name, you could refuse if you were, it wouldn't make you feel bad.
No, that'd be up to me, or if I wanted to change my name, I could ask them, and we got names.
Now, every family has names that they can give to their children.
Yeah.
Does Roberta have a name too now?
No, we used to just call her Peter. This other one, she's got Indian name Thomas and Kitty Paws.
What is that? Is that red something?
Huh?
What does that mean, red?
Kitty Paws.
Skitty.
Kitty Paws. It's got a different meaning than what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. They often do.
Mm-hmm.
They have a little short interpretation, but there's a long
Way around.
way around. Pawnees are good at that.
always tell, I used to tell Douglas Hart, you white people are say it backwards. I said, well, I say it the right way.
I haven't heard from him for a while. He's still up in South Dakota, I think. North Dakota.
He told me if I ever needed help to call him.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever need help, he said, just call me and I'll help you. I had him sitting here all day.
Wore him out, huh? He could wear you out too. And he was able to sit longer and work longer. I used to sit with Garland and sit and sit. And I knew Garland was getting tired, but Douglas never gets tired.
I made him give up.
Good for you.
I'd be sitting on that and then he'd be sitting over here with these. Now, Nora, what does this mean? We sit there from 8 o'clock, sometimes 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
Oh my.
I include dinner, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He said, Nora, let me rest my hand.
Let me rest my hand.
He'd play the recorder on that story. And then he'd write it in Indian, the way it was, you know, and then in English, and then he'd write it in I think him and I worked about a month.
That was good. He was lucky that you would work with him.
Mm-hmm. He came once before, and I sent him to Gertie Clark, but I guess she never did help him. She said she couldn't understand some of it.
Maybe she couldn't.
She didn't know everything. Like Mary Morgan, she even forgot her Indian name all about.
She did. Is that because she's getting older or what? I forget things. I'm afraid I don't know what'll happen to me.
She said, my Nora, what's my Indian name? I looked at her. I said, Ma, don't you know it? She said, wow. She said, I don't remember it. I said, Savita Kurisa. That's it.
Arisa.
That was Aunt Helen's name, her mother. And that's another thing too, you know. Johnny Kills claim her as his sister.
How does he do that? Maybe he just calls her sister.
No.
You mean a real sister?
They're supposed to be a half brother and sister.
Oh, I see.
And Helen, she got pregnant with him and he wouldn't marry her.
Oh.
So she had this name, see. And Aunt Helen didn't have nothing to do with him. When she told him she didn't want him to, he didn't want it. She didn't want him to have anything to do with her, and he never did either.
Well, after that, I guess not. I mean, if man.
And she went by the name of Grant, Mamie Grant.
Who's the drum keeper this year? Is he?
She's the blue one.
Cecil's the drum keeper.
I don't think it's gonna work good myself.
Why not?
They can't work together.
I see.
They all want to be the boss, and they don't know how to. He don't know how to go at anything. Teeter.
Uh-huh.
I told him that's one of the things you gotta learn. I said, I did come out and told him. He might have got mad at me.
Well, he's been away a long time too, hasn't he? He's been living around white people for so long that maybe he's got some of their habits.
He thinks he could run it like he runs, he's teaching, I guess, with a cook. He was a cook, you know.
Oh, he was up there
That
in
boat.
Alaska?
Wherever he was stationed and wherever he was at on that boat.
Maybe so.
He was a cook.
Well, who's
There's some more
this?
meat in there.
Oh, boy.
Better eat a lot.
When I was here last time, you had won a lemon cake or something. You'd been to some place and you won it. And I said that was sure good.
That was good. Boy, they have them at IGA.
What, did you see me win that cake the other day?
Huh?
Did you see me win that cake the other day? Wasn't that? I was so surprised.
Yeah.
I was sure glad I could.
I won this sweet cake at Hominy the other day.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Ashley's in school today, isn't he? What grade's he in now? 8?
So, 8 is 9. 9 years old.
Well, I'm thinking of who's the older child?
Kenneth. That's the Roberta's boy.
He's the one I was thinking would be about the 9th grade.
Yeah. He's in 7, I believe.
Big boy now.
He's just 14. And he's so tall.
I know it. I couldn't believe it the other day. I thought. What do you think's going to happen to the Travel Museum? Do you think that's going to work out? I wish it would.
I wish it would too, but I don't think it will.
There just weren't very many people there.
There never is hardly people there when theater's having anything.
And who's the lady that's the president of it? I can't. Her name is what? She had.
Joanne.
Joanne. Well, I can't think of Joanne's name. I forget it every time. I don't know why.
Is she,
She's the president, isn't she?
I don't think so. There's a Teeter was.
Is Teeter the president now?
Him and Junior Morgan, the president and vice president.
That's not of the Scouts. The Scouts,
They're president in there
of
too.
the Scouts, they're president of that also?
Mm-hmm.
And William Morgan's also the chief of the Chiefs Council, isn't he?
I think they took him out.
Oh, they did.
Our boy's resigning too. Alan Dale from the Stevie Band.
He is. What's happening with the Chiefs band?
Well, he was working in the office and they said they didn't need him anymore after he got all the books straightened out.
Oh.
And he used to work over his piece of Roberta's cake.
Oh, I will, thanks. Yeah.
So he got laid off, so he's said, well, I'm gonna resign from the chief council too, he said. And just get out of everything, he said. I don't know what's the matter with Junior. And the Levi, Clyde, they're the ones running it over there, okay?
Is Levi on the Chiefs Council? No, he's on the Business Council, Levi.
Yeah, but it's there.
I don't know what's going on either. I come up to some of the council meetings once in a while, but I need to come more often so I know what's happening.
Well, they don't let anybody know. They just do what they want to do. And they're supposed to be working for our people, not for themselves.
Delbert's your nephew, isn't he?
Huh?
Delbert and Levi, your nephews.
Uh-huh. That's my own folks.
This is good.
But I don't know. Sometimes I just wonder why.
Well,
What they want to prove, you know, that'll be working for our people instead of, you know, against our people. And Al, he straightened out that, you remember they had money for for a park over there before? And they got away with that money, Levi and, Levi and someone else. I can't think of who the other one is. Anyway, them two got away with that money. I don't know what they done with it. They were supposed to fix the park over there. And so much, you know. And then way back there, when we was having so much trouble with the big five, you know, we used to call them big
Secret
five.
Five. The Secret Five, I'll never forget.
Well, they borrowed money at the Yale Bank. They borrowed money at Tonkawa. Went over to Morrison, I believe.
That's what I heard.
So, since Al's been in there, well, he's been paying them. He's trying to get us out of debt, see? And then this bingo money, well, that's what he was using on that, see?
To get them out of debt.
To get the Pawnees out of debt. And I don't know. I guess they want that money. I don't know what
Well, did they force him to resign?
Well, they just asked him to. They said, we don't need you.
He knew too much. I mean, he knew, he was honest, in other words.
Yeah, too honest for them.
That doesn't look very good, does it?
Uh-huh.
Because there's an awful lot of money comes in with that bingo.
Mm-hmm. And he was paying at the bank, the Yale Bank, and then he went down to where is it, Dallas or Fort Worth, somewhere down there, you know, for that park money or something, you know. And he talked to that man, and he told him that he was trying to do what was right, you know, so they was going to give him some more money.
Yeah.
To fix something over there, I don't know what. Well, I told him, I said, why don't you call that man, call him and tell him that they took you out of office,
Yeah, it might.
then to be on the lookout for this other bunch, yeah.
Oh, somebody ought to tell him. Because you know what they did the last time.
Mm-hmm.
Nora, how do you think they got back in again? Just because all us relatives voted?
Well, their folks voted, I guess, that day. A lot of us went and voted, but we without voting. I don't know, it might be crooked too.
That really surprised me when I found out that had happened, because you know, people used to say, never again.
I didn't vote for them. I he
Let's
was
see,
in.
they've got, is Clyde Wolf still on that council?
I don't know, I guess so, but
That's
anyway, he's been bossing and wanting to run things, and
And,
I think they called him down, though.
Horace is on it. Horace,
Horace, I don't think has much
Horace.
to say.
no, he's too sick. He's a very sick man. And Ernest Eckelhawk is on there.
I don't know what,
I don't know either. He's still with, is he still with, Lily?
I haven't seen her around.
Well, there's an awful lot of money in that bingo, and if the tribe ought to demand to know how much is being made.
Well, they used to bring it down to house, and he'd work overtime to be there to get at this.
That's you know, that's just,
And,
cash money is easy to disappear.
he'd put it down and they'd take it to the bank the next day. Put it in the bank and then pay out the bill.
Well, it looks very strange if they've asked him to resign. That looks very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Did they ever try to get him to work out a deal or anything? Did they ever approach him like that? You know, try to get him to cooperate?
I don't know.
Because that would be, if he didn't, then they'd know
Mm-hmm.
that he wasn't going to.
Well, he told them, he said, I'm not letting this money go unless I pay, the bills. He said, try to get the Pawnees in a clear.
How much is still left to be paid?
I don't know. I really don't know.
No, dear.
One of these days we might just lose the reserve.
Take it for money.
Uh-huh.
Well, they're building that new bingo place over there across from Auntie's. It's big, you know. They've got all the ground scraped off
Mm-hmm.
across from Aunt Vi's, and
What are they supposed to put there?
they're putting up a place to play bingo in. Remember that big dedication they had? They had a big dedication. It was in the paper.
I can hear it.
Levi said they were gonna, that council meeting I went to, where they invited the public to come and talk about this amendment to the Constitution about law and order a couple of months ago, and Levi said they were gonna they talked about building this place to play bingo, and he said they were gonna have a lot of parking and good lights. That's gonna cost a lot of money. I wonder how they're gonna pay for that.
I know Levi isn't. I don't know what to think about. They ought to be trying to build something where people could work or something like that, help our people. But instead of that, what they do?
Bingo, huh?
Yeah, bingo mad. See, Clyde, my boy, he was working down here, and pass me that paper towel, please. He wanted my boy to do what he wanted, the way he wanted to carry it. And my boy told him no. He said, I'll carry it the way it's supposed to be carried in the law book.
Yeah.
He said, the law is the law. He said, well, I don't know what happened, but anyway, they got into it, and my boy told him off. And somebody was telling me, I said, well, why don't they put that badge on Clyde Will? See how far he'll get with the law. If he knows so much. I said, I was so mad.
Yes.
And I said, him and, who was that other one? Levi. See, and they kept putting Bimby back in there. Bimby kept making mistakes.
Who's Bimby?
That Delbert Horseshoe stepson, that big guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know who you mean. Vance?
Vance. Uh-huh. And then Shoto would rehire him, see? Maybe through Junior, I don't know. Oh, I don't know what all went on. But anyway, him and my boy got into it, and I told him, I said, well, why don't they put the badge on Clyde? I said, he wants to be so smart about it. I said, I don't think he knows anything to begin with. Oh, he's mad.
Oh,
His wife,
lots to get mad about.
his wife won't speak to me now. She used to be friendly, you know.
There's a car,
Big, you know,
Nora.
and I did.
There's a car, Nora.
That might be it.
It's a boy.
It might be Willard. Is it Willard?
No, I can't tell. He's got sunglasses on.
Yeah, that's it. And I went over there the other 2 weeks ago, I believe. I wanted them to help me pay for my propane.
Yes. Well, they're supposed to.
You know, I have to fill out papers and then take them to Wyoming and they'll send them back to. I said, oh, okay. They just got certain ones
They help. And they probably don't fill out all those papers either.
I bet they don't.
You have to be on the inside track, I guess. somewhere.
Yeah, you have to be a big pick.
And Marvin, we're gonna run.
Oh.
Good. We need some new faces in there.
Well, we're gonna just take a hold of that money and we're gonna have.
Oh,
some
you're just
fun.
gonna run, period. Hey, Nora, maybe we can come along down to Florida.
Just take that money. Adam was in there and he'd balk, you know, on different things. And he'd try to tell him, you know, but he finally got tired of him. Oh, quit. And then they sent him to Alaska. What about somebody brought that up? About him going to Alaska. You remember he went up there about
No, I don't remember. When was that?
about 3 years.
Well, see, that's when Garland was sick. Those in 78 and 79, I didn't know what was going on.
Uh-huh. They sent him up there to that health deal. Him and Dwayne, when Dwayne was president.
Oh, yeah.
And him and Dwayne and went up there to Alaska. Anchorage, I believe, or somewhere up there. Anyway, they went to that big hospital. They said they got a big hospital up there. You ever been up there?
Yeah.
And somebody brought that. Well, they sent you to. He said they didn't send me over there. He said it wasn't the tribe that sent me. He said it was that health deal.
Yeah, they didn't pay for it. The health deal did.
Yeah, that's what he told them. He said you folks didn't pay for me to go up there. He just come out and told them.
You got to.
They never did say anymore to him.
Well, I'm sure he knows how to turn them off.
Either that or hit him one.
Yeah. Garland was
They
good
don't.
at that
They
too.
don't miss him. They don't mess with him.
No, they never messed with Adam or Garland. I mean, they were strong speakers when they felt they had to.